Hello. Alright, getting started here. There's going to be a few things that I'm going to do today, all focused around building a Go CLI application using the Cobra framework. Just take a little notes, kind of like I've been doing in some past sessions. If you have any questions, throw them in chat. If you want me to make any notes, etc., let me know. I'll do that too, because I'm going to put together a blog entry after this session where I'll actually detail all the code, add more comments, things that I forgot during the session, and things like that. So my goal is to put this application together and make it as usable as possible post facto of this actual stream. Let's write some markdown. Everybody loves markdown. There we go. Now, if you looked at the description of this session before signing in, you'll see there were several key things of note. Let's see, I'm going to pull them up and we'll note them right here. So, the mission is to create a CLI and have the ability to import a text file of Twitter handles. And then we want the, we want the ability to clean up that list in case there's other crazy junk in the list. Like, let's say, you know, you've written something about like notes or whatever around the Twitter handles to say like this Twitter handle's cool because it does whatever. For instance, like one Twitter handle I started following recently is Ladies Who Linux, and my note was freaking awesome avatar image. And let's see here, I'll show you real quick. Twitter handle. So if you go in, Linux, and you'll see why. It's written in like death metal paint. It's freaking awesome. But anyway, that's one account. Oh look, it's related to Tammy. Oh yeah. Oh, I thought she had a death metal thing too, but I guess that's good enough. That's awesome. Anyway, you get the idea. There's a whole bunch of different things you could write about the Twitter handles or write about what you're trying to do and stuff like that. So you want to have a way to make notes about it, and you just want to get the Twitter handles. Should be relatively easy, right? Since there's a giant at the beginning of any Twitter handles. So let's write down a little bit more of what we want to do here. We also want to have the ability to export the cleaned up list of handles to a text file. We want to do JSON. Let's do XML, just, you know, for fun. And of course plain text. We want to be able to just spit out the list itself. Possibly we'll add a preceding character or specific like title or something to define the output of these things. So like if it's outputted into Twitter, there'll be some metadata or something. Maybe we'll do that. And then of course we'll need to use the ability, or have the ability, using the Twitter API to pull up data from the bio, latest tweets of a user, and other related information. Okay, that looks good. That's gonna be our mission. So I'm just going to keep that right there. I need to do word wrap. That's annoying looking. I think this. Oh yeah. Alt Z is the command key that does it. So there we go. I'm just going to leave that in code for the moment. Come back over here. Oh, I thought I saved this under a name. Oh well. Go coding Twitz markdown. There we go. All right. So now we need to start this project. I'm going to go out here to my account, which is github.com/Adrian. Go over to repositories, where I have 144 repositories. Crap. And I'm going to create a new one. So, oh whoops, I clicked before transition. So basically I go to repositories, then click new. That's one place that it has a new button. You can also just go to github.com/new, and if you're authenticated already, it just props this up and you can do whatever you want to right here. So I'm going to call this Twitz. You know, for Twitters, that's Twitz on Twitter. A Twitter CLI application. No, let's actually call it a user information CLI application written in Go using the Twitter API and Cassandra as a repository. There we go. Right, I'm going to initialize it. So you gotta use the Go one to start for my gitignore, and I don't know which one do I want to use. Apache 2.0 sounds groovy. So there we go. Create repository. All right. So we got some basic stuff. I'm gonna pull the Git repo path and pull it down so I can start working on it locally. This will need to be in the Go path. Be github.com/Adrian/Twitz. Git clone Twitz. Yes. I did not add my key. So I will need to generate one first. So get a little, always something. So we get a little sidetracked here, just and fix this. This will take all of 10 seconds. I always forget the exact keygen command that I like to use. So, oh really? Oh, typed my own blog wrong. It's compositecode.blog. And keygen. That's right. My SSH keygen -t RSA-c. That's what I wanted. Oops. Gotta put that. Alright, so the way we do that is we open up the key. See, this is how you do this. I'm going to nuke this as soon as I'm done, because I'm giving away way too many secret bits. You'll be able to see all my SSH keys, what I have on GitHub. Like I said, they'll be nuked in about 10 minutes. Blurple. There we go. One of the things I also wanted to talk about is there is a great show that Francesc did called Just for Func. He does it all the time. If you're into Go, you probably already know about it, so I'm speaking to the choir here. But episode 32, he actually dives into the CLI tools with Cobra. So if you want to get a little bit more info, that's a great one to watch. He's got a nice 30-minute episode out there. I wanted to give him a plug before I dive into this myself. All right, so I got my fancy pants key out there. So now, go back to that directory. Source, GitHub, Adrian, and then I can git clone. There we go. There we go. So we have, I do list A there. Now you can see the git ignore. Now let's open this up in, do I have that? Oh, I don't have that shortcut link installed yet. Come on, Goland. Oh, it needs an update. All right. So anyway, that's going to update for a second. So far, what I have, it's weird that it doesn't show you the repo you just created. You have to come all the way over here. All right, so come to Twitz. There's the git ignore. You can see the files, etc., that it's ignored. I'm going to go ahead and here while the IDE updates and add .idea, which is the path that Goland actually puts IDE specific configuration and stuff. So that's in there. And then let's get rid of, I know I'll pull it up on a Mac eventually, so I add the DS store file. Whoops. I hit Control S and I'm not trying to save the web page. And that should be good for a little update of the ignore file. Added .ada and ds store to ignore. And then the README is just that. And the license is blah 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 Apache, this and that, whatever. Click this, scroll down. You see, you actually need to do this. 2018. Junior Hall. So that's all added. Date and state and copyright holder. There we go. Now we already got that taken care of. One of the other things that I want to be able to do is I'm going to remove wikis. You know, we really don't need wikis, so I don't really need that, and I'm not going to do projects. I want to keep issues though, because I want people to be able to issue bugs or feature requests to me. So I'm also going to set up the templates for the issues of bug report and feature request. Pose those changes, and then, yeah, that looks good. Commit the changes. So now we have a .github/issue template. So when somebody comes into issues and clicks new issue, they'll be given a selection of a bug report or feature request. All right. So now I'm also going to do a git pull down those latest changes for the .gitignore feature request and the license. Now let's see here. Where are we at here? All right, so Goland looks like it updated. So let's start that. All right, starting fresh here. Well, it looks like I started it twice. But anyway, GitHub, Adrian, Twitz, open. Now what I had wanted to do, instead of navigate through there like that with the mouse, is just type Goland dot and open that path, right? Like you do with pretty much everything else, like code or Atom or whatever IDE you're using. So what you can do with Goland is come in here and say create command line launcher. And hit OK. Enter your super secret password. And now, if I want to exit out of that, index it out of that one. Now I believe if I do golang dot, it should start it up. So now on the Mac and Windows, it's just going to start. One of the things I've noted is you get all the update messages, and you see I don't have control on my terminal anymore because this thread of the IDE is controlling the terminal. So if I come in here and hit Command or Control C, boom, it's going to kill the IDE. But the IDE is running indexing, so it's going to sit there and fiddle with that for a minute. So what I like to do is issue it like this. You say golang dot ampersand. So you get it in the terminal, and it gives you the updates and all this stuff like you see, but I can hit enter and start doing stuff like list all, there we go, clear, or whatever. And I can even exit the terminal, and boom, the IDE is still going. So that's just a little thing to note whenever you're in Linux, that's usually how it's going to launch when you launch from the CLI like that, or from the terminal, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and I opened it from the wrong stupid point. Anyway, go back through this process regardless. So now that I have that up and running, I want to do a little bit of configuration of my IDE. Goland is a really powerful IDE to use for Go coding. Gives you all types of extra oomph, fire in your coding. It'll let you select your Go root, Go path. You can set that up per session, like per environment as you open up project. Right now it's just using the global path, which I have set in my bash RC. Or like on Mac, you'd have it set in bash profile, or bash profile in Linux too if you do it that way. And let's see if I have dep. Dep doesn't appear to be installed. So let's open up a terminal and see if it's actually installed. So dep is what I'll use for dependency management. So let's say dep. Go dep. Nope. Okay, I'll do, let's try that. Install go dep. So that's working. I'm going to grab one of the other things that I want. Oh, looks like they have sync settings to Jetbrains account. I actually want to do that. Enable settings sync. So that brings up the question, does the .idea directory still exist? Is it used? If it's not, that's fine by me too. So go back into settings though. And all right, we're going to go down the path of plugins, like material, search repositories, material theme UI, and install that sucker. All right, and this looks good. So if I type dep, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I have my dependency management now. If I type go, I have go installed, all that good jazz. So let's see, if I type, is it which, where dep, or which dep? Yeah, there we go. So now I can go in here, back into configuration, settings, I mean, back into go and say pick dep, enable. Oh yeah, and it already detected the installation. So now, whenever it picks up a dep file, it'll automatically ask me if I want to run dep ensure to pull down dependencies for any new repos or anything like that. So when I get out of there, let's see here. I'm going to open up some of these because one of the cool things that Goland will do is actually start to tell me which plugins I need. Like this for Markdown, hit OK, set that to the background. Let's add a Go file, just call it main. Simple application. Yes, add it. Because it's in a repo, it also detected that there's source control active. All right, that's a good start. So let's go ahead and exit out of that. Then we have this. What is our next step? All right, we want to create a text file, some other stuff in the repo. So open Go back up, and it'll come up, and it'll actually look pleasant now versus a blinding white IDE. Oh no, did I not turn it on? Plugins. All sorts of stuff. I actually want Toml. Yes, please install the material theme. I didn't realize that it didn't do it. What else we got here? This is a nice new interface feature, actually. Oh, I can install Rust. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I really want any of this other stuff at the moment. I'll let it determine what needs to be installed at various times. Grep console. Oh, that sounds cool. Anyway, so let's do install other ones. All right, restart IDE. Yeah, so the material theme always comes in and wants to set up its various characteristics once you install it. So always basically go with kind of the defaults there. Now let's go back in, get that project opened up. Okay, so my environment is set up. Now I want to go out and get Cobra, because this is going to be a Cobra CLI. And Cobra will pull along various dependencies with it too. That will give us all types of other capabilities like Viper for configuration, which we'll also use some, and things like that. Cobra has its cool little logo right here, as you can see. Used in a lot of CLIs. Kubernetes, Yugo are two that I'm pretty familiar with. Docker, you name it. You can see them right here. Go check them out. They're great examples to work from once you get kind of familiar with what Cobra actually does. We're going to be using the Cobra generator to build out some of this initial skeleton, and then we'll work from within the skeleton like that. The overview is good to read too. Blah, 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 but I'm going to skip over that, and we're going to get right into it. So I want to go through the installation, because sometimes it's, well, kind of tricky. So let's do a go get yada, 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 right? So I do this, and theoretically it goes out, and it gets a library, right? So you should be able to use and import it. Now, the catch here, though, is, let's see if it actually says something about this. In the Cobra generator, how does it say to, yeah, it says go get it, like this, which if I go get it, and then I go to, let's see, go, GitHub, oh wait, source, GitHub, SPF, it's in there, right? So there's Cobra. So if I go look in Cobra, and then Cobra, There's the command stuff, etc. All the pieces should be there, right? But if I go out and let's say do Adrian, go in here and then I try to type Cobra, it's not there, right? And I know for a fact that the sudo apt install Cobra is not this Cobra, it's a different Cobra. And I want to just be able to do this. I want to be able to type Cobra init to start the code. What I usually have to do whenever I install this is go out and do a little bit more bash hacking. So see, in my bash RC, I have, stop asking me for that. I have this as my go path and this as my path, right? So now, what I need to do, for some reason I always have to set, and maybe somebody can call out the obviousness thing, or the obvious thing that I'm missing or not setting up right, but I need to add basically the, what is it, let's see here, home/go/bin to this. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to close that, and then close this. Let's close that for a second, and then let's see if we, did that do enough? Yeah, so now I have Cobra, because I have to actually reference the bin path of where Go comes and pulls down its executables. I don't know if it's supposed to be that you have to set that up, but in the installation directions it should be there in Go, and it's not. But whatever. We haven't figured out. Now you know. If you don't have all the paths and stuff set up right, go set that up to point at your bin, and then you'll get your Cobra whenever you install it with Go Git. So alright, blah blah blah, got Cobra installed. So now I can go in, go back to my path, and there's Twitz. Now if I type Cobra init github.com, and you should put your whole path in like this, because it's expected. And I'm actually going to type Adrian and then Twitz. Okay. Oh, it did actually put it there. Cool. So now if I navigate into here, what should I see? Oh, it didn't do what I expected it to do. Maybe there have been changes. So usually I do that, and then it says I can't write to the directory, something, something, something. Cobra init. Go get, and then using the generator. Yeah, because the first step is, right, Cobra init, that thing. Yeah. So now I want to do golang. Yes, give me markdown. And then I want to do Cobra add. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to do a couple things. So I want to be able to. Oh, I did this. Stupid thing didn't save its state. I guess I need to restart after every single plugin add-on. That's kind of frustrating to some degree. All right, so it's starting, but I want to add some commands here with Cobra. So I'm going to do add parse, which is just be a command to, I'm thinking parse out just parse the text file of stuff that is of the Twitter accounts, to get the Twitter accounts out of it and parse out the Twitter accounts. Let's see here. All right. And then I want to add another command, and I'll call it config, which will just print out configuration stuff that I have set. I always like to have that in the CLI, so when you're using the CLI and something weird happens, you can always kind of just check your config at whim. You don't have to like go manually open up the config file and see what's there or not. And then let's add one for export, or let's call it let's do one called find them. Yeah, so we'll find them, And then we'll do one called, like, we'll do maybe a feature around, like, we'll have it scan the web for people or something, or for accounts, to kind of see if there's correlated stuff. So we'll do a web scan. That sounds good. Yeah, just simple command. So parse will basically take the text file and parse it out. And we'll set up like a flag or a switch or something to pick a particular thing to parse out to, like XML, JSON, various formats. Then for web scan them, or find them will be like, go find this account list of parsed Twitter accounts on Twitter. That's where we'll kick in with the API and use the Twitter API. And then the web scan them will be like, go scan all this pertinent data about it, see if you know them here or there, or some of the work, find cool code that they're working on, all sorts of crazy stuff. Don't really know what I'll put in there, but we'll see what we can do. That'll be like a nice to have at the end of this and the next session. And it'll put all that data into Cassandra, and also the find them will go through, confirm the account identities, and then put it in the database so that we can kind of look at it later and figure out, like, all right, we got this list of Twitter accounts. Do we want to follow them? Do we know who they are? Are they posting cool stuff? Kind of do a little bit of analysis on them. All right, so that's my 4 commands: parse, config, find them, and web scan them. Now I'm going to bounce out of here, and I don't really need to use at this point any more Cobra stuff. I'm not doing any sub commands. Like, you can do that, and like I said, go check out Francesc's Just for Func feed, or Just for Func video, whatever it's called, feed, podcast, videocast thingy on YouTube. He's awesome. Just go watch his stuff, and you can dive in deeper into what exactly is happening with Cobra. And we'll do a lot more here too. We'll get into the switches and stuff, but I'm not really going to look at those docs that much more and go through the minutia. I'm going to dive into the code. All right, so there's the generated code, and it usually gives you some, or not usually, it gives you useful information about how to set flags, persistent flags, and things like that. Good, useful information. Useless comment like that, I don't even know what it's there for. And then, of course, there's this bit up here where it's license information. So I'm going to go ahead and put my license information in here. I'm just going to copy that and then actually go through and put it in these other two real quick. Okay, and then in main, with Cobra, you need to actually have the main function. All it needs to do is execute the command. So it initiates and spools up the whole thing and sets it up so it can be used. The only thing you'll need in here is cmd.execute. Usually when you generate it, well, you gotta use the right one. You gotta use this one. Yes, okay. So there, it added the import for me, which is this stuff in here. And usually this, like if you have an empty project, basically Cobra will go out and it'll add this for you. So like if you have an empty project and you do Cobra init, it'll set you up with this main.go, and then whatever Cobra.add or Cobra add whatever commands will add all that skeleton code and everything for you. So keep that in mind when you're writing Cobra CLIs. If you just start from scratch with Cobra and you don't do all these first steps like I did, you can just do that and it'll give you the main.co. But I like to go out to GitHub and create the repo where I'm going to put it, then clone down from that so I have those pieces already there. And also, it already added, like I got the GitHub directory with the particular issue templates in Markdown here, which is really nice. And it gave me the gitignore with all these file types and stuff that I didn't have to remember. So I kind of like to go from that vantage point instead of starting with Cobra, because Cobra, I generated this stuff, but then I only added that one line. It's actually less work to do the way I did it. So all that good stuff being what it is, let's Oh yeah, I needed to add one more here. We need to add a root command. Now, yes, please add that to the main repo. So what this is going to do is basically one specific thing. When you type it in to the command line, it'll spit out some like basic documentation to say like, you've used the blah 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 CLI tool. Here's some of the commands that you can issue, because the root command is not going to do anything. All it's going to do is have some basic documentation for the overall CLI app. And one thing that will be initiated through here, though, because of the process, workflow, and steps of Cobra CLI and how Cobra CLIs work, is that it will initialize the configuration in the init and the init config function. I just realized, what the hell did I name it? Let me fix that. Is there not a rename? Doop-de-doop. Well, okay, so one way to rename a file is use the move command and do root.gop.go to root.go. Yeah, weird. Okay, anyway. So this is another file that would actually be generated with Cobra init. I don't know why it didn't in this particular case. I guess, whatever. But what we need in here, that's the important part. So first, let's start off with, let's pull in the imports. Or not the imports, I mean the, let me slow down and think here for a second before I just spit it all out. So we need a root command like this, and then we need to point it at cobra.command. And then this is going to be this is where the values and documentation information will be for the root command whenever it's issued. Also, whenever you have a command, it would be issued under here. So like if we go look at parse, var parse command equals a Cobra command with these characteristics. But this is what actually executes. Like when the command is typed, this is what's actually going to execute. If you ask for help, this information is what's going to show up. And based on like where you're at in the code and all that kind of jazz, like we'll have root pull the short description for the parse command. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So all right, so here we'll do use, or use is just Twitz. So that is the command that a person would type, and then you have a short description or short definition or short documentation description, which will be, this is a CLI command to parse, retrieve information about, and let's say manage Twitter user account information. So that's my short one. And then I have a long one, and let's say, this is the long description that needs completed. So usually you have multiple lines, and one way to do that is to actually use the backtick. This, so this, actually let's just type an actual command. This is a CLI command, CLI app. Actually fix that too. Then, so we got pinged all at the same time here. Yeah, this is a CLI app for digging, or let's say retrieving information and organizing, retrieving, storing, and organizing information about Twitter accounts. And I can do a new line and say some of the ways to use this CLI the CLI has the following commands. And we'll say parse, config, find them, and web scan them. For more information, check out the GitHub project page here. And then let's go out. And we'll actually create a GitHub project page real quick for that project. Click on repositories. There's Twitz. When you do that is you go into settings and scroll down, way down now, and say, oh yeah, we need a docs folder for it or something. Or choose a theme, select theme. Yeah, there we go. Adding docs. Commit page. All right. So that's, I don't know how half this shit works anymore. So that should be in, I thought I put it in a branch. So did it, I just made my whole, okay, I didn't really want that. But you know what? That's great. We're going to stick with that. The README will be the page. So now if you go to, let's hear this, you'll get that page basically. So that's all groovy. Not exactly what I wanted, but we're going to go with it. It'll be great. So there's where the docs will live and information about the project. And then that's it. So we have to have a trailing comma because it's a list of things in that command. And then now we need an actual execute. And in execute, basically, we're just going to catch any possible errors that come up when the thing executes. Go full screen with this puppy. All right. You can see the IntelliSense on Goland is some of the more intensive, informative IntelliSense or autocomplete or whatever it's called, versus some of the other tools that just like kind of autocomplete based on other words you've just typed in the text files, which is not always so useful. But anyway, all right, so we have a execute now, which is what's going to happen whenever the command is actually fired. Then we need an init. Which is basically what will initialize on every execution of the code. So like whenever we type Twitz parse, this initialization will occur, plus whatever else initializes in parse, for instance, like here. You can see that. And every command has these features, right? Init and things like that. So we do Cobra. I love that it says Cobra command. It's like a G.I. Joe themed thing. And we're actually going to make another function that it calls called init config, because we want to have an actual config to initialize. And that's where we will actually use Viper, which is an included library with Cobra that is focused around configuration management of applications. So for that, let's see here. I'm going to need some global-ish variables. I'm going to set up a config file, make it a string. Then I'm going to set up a flag too. We'll just call it, actually we'll call it config export, and we'll make it a string, I think, for now. So the idea is the CFG file will be the configuration file, and CFG export will be a flag. Actually, just going to call it export, and this will be file config file. I know it's Go way to like name variables cryptically, but I'm going to not do that. Actually name them informatively there. So there we go. So let's say config file is going to be .twitz .YAML. Okay, and I'm going to actually go over here and add a file called .twitz.yaml. And in here, all right, what can we add some of? We'll add the ladies who Linux have an awesome kick-ass death metal avatar image. And then we'll add some other stuff. Let me think for a second. Oh, this is not in this configuration file, but this is, I'm already getting ahead of myself. So in the configuration file, we actually just need, let's see here, we'll need the file that we're going to put all the information in. We'll just call it twitterers.txt, and then the file, and then let's say the file export will be, let's go with tweeters, and then file format. So like if we want to do JSON or XML or whatever, we can set it here. I'll just go ahead and put text for right now. And those are the only configuration values that I'm going to want. But then let's go ahead and add that tweeters file that I just added or mentioned while I'm doing it, so I won't forget exactly what I've just named it. There, now ladies who Linux, and then let's think of some other ones here. Any suggestions, fellow viewers? What are y'all's Twitter handles? Here, I'm going to call this sample file created by me, Adrian, for the project on Thrashing code Twitch. There, so that's 2 more files. And you get the idea though. Basically you can add notes. You can just take notes yourself and put it all in here, and then parse out the actual Twitter handles out of it. So let's do another one. Another one I like is Angry Seattle is Angry Seattle. Another one we'll do, let's see here, do Microsoft, Google, and then, oh I know, I wonder if cheese is one. You have that? Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, I don't want that either. It looks like a stupid account. Let's go look at, oh yeah, we'll look at Thrashing code. We'll go in here. Don't tell me to sign up. I just want to look at, oh, you can't do that if you're not signed up. No, that's fine. We'll just go with what we got here. Looks good enough. This is a great sample file. Okay, so we got our sample file. We have our configuration file value. I'm not going to go with like optional configuration file settings, like being able to change the name of the configuration file. We're just going to go with the convention of this. This is what it's going to be. So let's see here. Next thing we need to do, okay, now we need to get Viper into play here. Viper, we need to set the config type, which is going to be YAML. And then we need to set the actual config file, which is going to be .twitz.yaml. Oops. Just put in the config file. That's why I gave it the variable name. And then Viper dot automatic environment, so it'll pull environment variables if we want to later. Then I need to do an error grab around. Come on. Viper dot read in config. And if there's an error, or not an error, or if the error is nil, cannot type today. Then we'll print out, let's see here, using configuration file. There we go. So that's somewhat self-explanatory. So here at line 39, we set the config type to YAML, so it knows what it's going to be reading. It can be JSON, it could be other things. I think it can even be XML. Again, Viper, very elaborate library, gives a lot of capabilities. It's a great thing to go check out further and see what kind of options it has for you when you're building your CLIs. Then I set the actual config file, which is twitz.yaml, which is this right here with 3 values in it. And then I tell it to take automatic environment variables and then a little error grab. And if there's no error, tell me that I'm using the configuration file. So things look good, I believe. Thinking. Am I missing it? I don't need this anymore, I don't think. Because that is over here. Yeah, so there's main. Command execute. Which will pull that. Which is going to call this function. Which will fire root command, execute here. And then that's going to boot off and get the initialization. And load the configuration file and the various parameters. So that's good. Let's see if, can I build this? I installed dep earlier. That's where I need to do dep init, I believe. And with that, we should see a vendor directory pop up here in a second. Yeah, look at there. Oh, damn it. I did it in the wrong path, though. No, get out of there. Don't index all that stuff. Give me my... Okay, yeah, when you do dep init, you have to be in the right level of your folder tree. All right, so let's go out to the root here. Yeah, now let's do dep init. Boom. Command is missing. What the? There's command. Well, let's try to do. Could not introduce Twitz master. Yeah. There we go. All right. So I didn't need all that path, and it wouldn't work anyway right now because this hasn't been committed into the repo. All right, so there's our vendor directory with our dependencies. It's got all this stuff included, such as a bunch of HashiCorp stuff, Lexers, etc. We've got fs notify, and then Mitchell also has map structure added Map structure is freaking awesome. We will probably look at that a little later. And then, of course, SPF13 is the fella who wrote Cobra, Viper, and a bunch of other stuff. So all the dependencies are now there in place where they need to be. So let's go for our first build. No Go files. Oh. So now if I go in here, let's do an Alt-Enter and say alias. So I've always had a little run dep ensure required by root. So it thinks it needs to go out there, but it doesn't need to go out there. Well, let's get everything committed. And that'll put that stuff out there. And then we can figure out what the deal is. Main.go. Oh, is it not? Oh, I need to add the files. So in Goland, you can go in VCS, and then forget what the git. Yeah, then add. Control Alt A to add those, and then I want to add these. Oops. All right, so everything is ready to go now. Control K to get the commit dialog. I'm going to let it reformat stuff pertinently, and then call this first commit. What? Yeah, let's do all this good stuff. But the following files are currently being committed to the VCS. Saving now would cause inconsistent data to be committed. Yeah, no, distributed systems are hard. Anyway, save now. We're all good. Push it. Oh yeah, rebase, give me the new bits. Because what did I do? I have like one file out there or something. So let's actually go to the terminal and do git pull. Yeah, root dump. I'm not going. Oh, when in doubt, going manual. Oh, I didn't keep. Did I keep vendor out, or did I just commit that? Ha! Damn it! I didn't really want to commit vendor. So I'm going to add that to the commit. Added vendor to ignore. I'm going to remove my vendor directory. There. Now I can add that change. There we go. All right, now what is it fussing about? Oh yeah, git pull. Oh, what's it? Oh. Not using VI, using that. All right, so now that README file that has all the stuff from the Jekyll README is in there with the config YAML and the README. So I have that stuff now. There isn't any conflicts, really? Yeah, there shouldn't be. Okay, so that's cool. So git pull, git, that's what I just did, so git push now. And that should spit that stuff out there. All right, clear. Looks good. What is our next step? So now I'm gonna add a configuration and do the build this way. So let's do go build. We want to do the package, not just one file, but all the things in the project here. So that looks good. And then for program arguments, I just want to run Twitz for now. So do this. Okay. So I didn't really name it. So that one should just run what would happen when you just type Twitz, build, and run Twitz. That. And then, I like uppercases it anyway. Then let's add one for build and run config. Program arguments. So that'll be to just config like that. And we want the package again. That should be good. All right, so let's see what this does. No Go files in. Oh, right. Okay. So let's take its advice. I'm a little confused at what is happening here. Let's add in github.com. There we go. I'm going to run the dependency, the dep ensure. And that should give us a build. Should, emphasis. Found packages command and main in blah blah blah. What? I don't see main anywhere in there. Did I leave something in here? What says main? Oh, main.go. Main redeclared in this package. Well, where did I declare it otherwise? Because I definitely don't need two mains, that's for sure. Let's do find all main. Open window. One occurrence. What you tripping on here? What? Oh, maybe this should be that, I think. What? GCC X? Oh, the GCC executable. What? Okay, another little sidetrack here. Sudo apt get install GCC. Seems crazy. Yes, install the GCC. GCC is a C++ compiler. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right, theoretically now, that message shouldn't pop up. We're doing a compile. All right, use of untyped nil. Oh, what? Really? Oh, it's not a function to call. It's just nil. There we go. I kind of can't believe I typed that. But I totally can believe I typed that. All right, config called. So if we go look in config, we'll see that we have one thing for it to do, and that is to prevent that config is called. And there we see that the config file is being used. So that confirms that this is being pulled in and these values are being retrieved. And to confirm that even further, let's actually implement config. Had to get a drink there, starting to get parched. Oh, all right. So I just want to do a little simple thing with config. One, I don't want this default message in there, but the rest is just going to be some print stuff. I'm going to do a print format. I'm going to say the Twitterers file, and then pass that in or interpolated or whatever. Viper, that's our configuration management system, and it's going to do a get, and we want it to retrieve a string, and that key for that value is file. So we want that one, then we want what was it, the export file. Viper get string. I think I just called it export. And then that third value, I want that one too. I want all of them printed out and nicely displayed at the command prompt. There we go. I think I called it file format. We will find out super fast. Well, file export and file format. File export, file format. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's nice that we can do all those things, but I just need this. So plain and simple, there we have an implemented config command. So now let's build it manually this time, just to do it differently. I'll say go build. So if I do it this way, it's just going to make the command and call it Twitz. We'll see the executable pop in there in a second. But you can also, undefined get string. Yep, missed the T. So you can do plain old go build style, and it'll pull everything in, and there you can see our executable right here. So now if I type Twitz, you can see this is the description, and here's these in the comments, like in config here, where you see, so now I need to pull it down. You see the short description. This gets basically concatenated, interpolated into the overall command for the root command and put in here in a list of the available commands. Okay, and then here's our link. Here's the usage. It says Twitz. That's where the use thing comes into play. So like basically what's happening here is the root command, which I just executed, right? When I typed Twitz, it went through and it finds Twitz, the root command, and then the available commands that can be added onto Twitz, config, and then it adds in the short help description here. Now if I type Twitz and then config, we get what we just implemented. The Twitterers file, and export format. Now if I type Twitz config -- help, as you can see right here, right here with the flag, boom, we get this. This is a longer description for config. So that's all this stuff right here, right? Custom example. So now I just made a little change. And if I rebuild it, and then go back here and do this, there we go. That's what I just changed right here in the comment. So now you see where the long documentation, the short documentation piece, and all these little pieces are showing up that are generated in the default skeleton code whenever you use the Cobra CLI command to create CLI commands and subcommands. It's really cool, really powerful, gives you a lot of capabilities right out of the bag. It's pretty sweet. Love this. So we have the config. Moving on to next thing. So we also already have our twitters.txt with some stuff in it. We're going to add CM Griffling's Twitter handle, even though theoretically it's not used that much, he says. So CMGriffling. Yeah. Is another Twitter handle, just like a Twitch handle. Yeah, and mine, of course, is different because my Twitch handle is Adrian Hall. Because somebody has. Oh, there's not? No L in there. Griffing. Oh, Griffing. There we go. I can't see. My screen over on the other side, way over here, that I was trying to copy it off of, is too far away and it's too small. So I saw L's where there weren't ones. Okay, cool. So we have a Twitter's file. And we have config, we have root. Let's implement parse. All right, first things first, get rid of this excess documentation comment mess. All right, this command. This command will extract the Twitter accounts from a text file. This command will extract the Twitter accounts and clean up or disregard other characters or text around the Twitter accounts to create a simple, clean Twitter accounts only list. And then let's go and cut that sucker right here. All right. So we have a comment, get rid of this default bit. All right, so now the question is, how do we pull in a file? Let's see the file. First, in this code, I want to get the actual file again, so we'll use Viper get string and just yank that file parameter out of the configuration. So we have that, and then let's say we have something called the Twitterers. And error for the returned values, and I'm going to use the IOUtil. What is it? Read file to read in the file. Look at that. Like halfway done already. So, and then let's do a little. I don't want to write 3-line error files everywhere, so let's go over here and create another Go file, and we'll call it helpers. Oh, I didn't want to. Yes, but I need all this crap. Oh, that's why I put main in that, because of the way I created it earlier. All right, we're going to put the. What are we going to put in here? We're going to put. Oh yeah, the error thing. So we'll do func. We'll call it check. Let's see here. How should I implement that? Just do a clean little. I guess I can do. Well, I need to pass in the error. My cursor here. The error. Then I need to check if it's nil. This is basically what you do every single time. and then I guess just panic and blow up with it, like that. I mean, technically, I guess you could do something like format, print line, or log, whatever, but I'm just going to panic for now. And have the CLI just completely freak out, panic, run out the door, and like scream fire or something. So, all right, now I can do check. There. It's one line instead of 3 every single time I want to do it now. Makes life that much simpler. Okay, so what is next? Reading in the files, and I have the Twitterbers. So we could do a number of things here, but I think I have an idea which should work. I'm going to use the let's see here. How do I do this? Oh, got it. Okay. So I want to just make a string of Twitterbers, and I'm going to make it an array. This is probably not the best way to do this. And then set it up like that, so it can be created the size that it needs to be created. And then I'm going to split the fields, or split the Twitterbers with the, what is it, string dot fields? No. String dot strings dot fields. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Fields. And I'm going to do string Twitterers like that. So it's going to give me all the split fields. And then I'm going to create something completed list. Or no, let's do completed Twitterers list. That's going to be the string array. And then I'm going to need to step through it. So all the fields. Actually, let's do this. Let's see where we're at first. Let's see if that even works or gives us anything. Print line of split fields. Right? All right. What will that give us? Go build. We'll run Twitz. Parse. Sample file created by this. Okay, so you can see the little the brackets? Yeah, brackets on either side means that basically like this is an item, this is an item, or field, this is a field, A is a field, is a field, this is a field, handle exclamation point is a field. Everything that's together is a field, and it's all been broken apart. So if we just look at it as is, it's basically taken out new lines and white space and only taken all the fields out of the file, which includes all the text attached to its various special characters and things like that. If we look back over here, so like this new line, that one, and that one, blah, 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 those are taken out. Now that's getting to where we want. We have these individual pieces to work with. Now we just need to kind of determine, like, is it a Twitter account? Is it not a Twitter account? Is it just text? What is it? So, next thing. So get rid of that format. I don't need to see it again. I want it more cleaned up next time I see it. So the next thing I want to do is actually step through and figure out, like, basically, I guess, does it start with prefix? Yeah, we'll do that. So let's say a field, stepping through, we get the field out of the range of split fields. Now if the strings has prefix, the field has a prefix of ampersand, or at symbol, not ampersand, what am I thinking? see here. Then yeah, we're gonna, yeah, that'll be good. So let's print that out. I just want to see what that's going to look like. That should print out all of our Twitter accounts, right? So let's create one up here, another build. So we can just click a button and not have to type it in and do a build every time. Go build, do package. We'll call it build and run parse. And then here in programs, we'll type parse as the subcommand, pass it, and OK. So now it's changed to parse. What do we got here? Build and boom. Yeah, OK, that worked. Oh. Well, it kind of worked. Microsoft does not have a comma in its handle, right? And what happens if, let's add some other goofy stuff to check out here. Let's go back in our Twitterers file. And let's say add this. And then let's add a dot here. That'll force us to fix that. So now if I run that, yep, so it includes that. That's not a valid Twitter account. So we need to verify what a valid Twitter account is. Let's actually go look, take a gander. Twitter account. Oh, how do you even look that up? If I do valid, Twitter account valid, that's going to give me some crap about, yeah, username resignation. Twitter account, Twitter help center, maybe something there. Managing your account. Sign up for Twitter. What has it got? Oh, I don't want to do that either. There we go. Go to twitter.com. Maybe what makes up a valid Twitter handle? Okay, adding underscores before or after desired username will help you claim a unique username on Twitter. Example, that crap. Okay, that's useful. And then, okay, username can't be greater than 15 characters. Username can only be alphanumeric characters, A to Z, numbers 0 through 9, with the exception of underscores as noted above. Ah, that kind of makes it easy. That changes the whole paradigm, though. Let's go back to parse. So we got the list of them, but let's add some things. Okay, just had one quick fix here. So, and a field is not equal to an at. That'll get rid of the single at. If I build and run that. So I hate to say it, but I think it might be, yeah. Yeah, it might be regex time, yeah. So we're gonna run regex. I don't know how I feel about that. But let's do it. How do we do that? Now I gotta remember. So I think it's one of those standard function things. Reg. Don't want to deal with the error. Just give me the whole thing. Reg, just regex processor. And then do I need to compile it first? I think I do. That's what I should use to make the regex. So now, oh dear. Regex for alphanumeric characters. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, so it'd be like this thing. Okay, so you do caret, that means matches non-alphanumeric. Okay, so matches alphanumeric. So oh, yeah, I just want to, so I want to take out the non-alphanumeric characters off of the strings. So I want to match anything that's not these. So I'll use the caret, yes. That's what I need to do. Oh, it helps to kind of remember this stuff. I wish I could remember it better. So I think this is going to look like, let's see, we get our brackets in there. And then that stuff I just copied to a, I guess I want the underscore. Oops. A to Z capital and lowercase, and 0 to 9. And I want ampersand, right? Yeah, because I don't want it to take out the ampersand. And that should, okay, this should get it. I'm going to say processed string equals run the regex with replace all string. It sounds good. And pass in the field that I want to replace all the non-alphanumeric and ampersand, or alphanumeric and underscores or at sign. And then just get rid of it, I guess. So put nothing in its place. And let's print, yeah, print. Let's look at the strings, see what that looks like. What do I get? Hey, beautiful. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, wrong thing. Let's look at the Twitter's file. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woohoo! All right. Got 8 of these suckers in there. So now I want to put all these things in an array, basically, is what I want to do. I want to put them in an array so I can just print out the array and just work with the array post facto. Or slice or array. I guess slice. So I need to add to it, or I need to append to it. So let's go outside of this and create an array variable called Twitterer list. This is what I was going to start doing earlier, but felt like I was getting ahead of myself. So it's just going to be a string array. What did I? Oh, put it in the brackets. There we go. So that's a string array. Named it completed Twitterer list. So now completed Twitterer list is going to equal and append of completed Twitterer list and append the process string to it. That's still weird freaking syntax to me. I don't know what y'all think, but I don't know. That just seems weird to me as far as syntax goes for a language. Oh, I missed my, oh, there it is. Regex 101. Well, I guess I should, where is that? Let's look at that just for reference. Yeah, yeah, you definitely have two issues once you implement regex, because then you have your code and then you have crazy looking regex. That's a pretty simple one though. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything too wild, and someone could search that pretty quick. So what is regex 101? Let's look that up. Regex 101. Oh, cool. So it's like a whole, oh, it just validates it for whatever, I guess. Java, oh, you do golang. Insert your regular expression here. So what did we do? We did caret, A to Z, and 0 to 9. And then we did underscore and at, right? So what does it say? Matches the characters this, literally, case sensitive. Your regular expression does not match the subject string. Where's my, oh. Oh, no way. So I could go in here, take my Twitter file, and what do I get? Boom. Oh, how do I rerun it? Do I have to rerun it? What do I do with it? Code generator. Save regex, Control S. Oh no, I don't need it. I just want to run. How do I make it rerun? Actually, let's just do this one line here. Is it gonna do that? Okay, processed it, but it says no match. That doesn't seem. That seems weird. Characters range say Z. Oh, that's cool. So I don't know. It seems like this. It should do the thing, right? Is it? Maybe I have to do this. A, B, C, D. I don't know. I'm confused by this thing. Oh, you have to include that? Yeah, yeah. That would make sense, actually. Yes. Derp. Yeah, there we go. Full match 10 to 11. Oh, is it just telling me? Oh, yeah, so it's found that. Doesn't like that. So if I do this, yeah, look at that crazy stuff. Wait a second. Why is it? It hates numbers now? Let's do this. Oh. I took the dash out. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So that's actually what I have over there, right? So let's go back and look. Leave page. Close Twitterverse. I believe that's what I have. Yeah. Yep, okay, that looks good. I am happy with that solution for the time being. So the next thing that we're doing. Okay, well that prints out the thing to the CLI. So now we need to, we need to set it up where it'll actually export this stuff somewhere, right? So we have parse running. It parses the thing out. But now, we basically need to say, actually let's do format.print on completed Twitterverse list. We'll run it. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so now we need to do, we need to check the export for, we want to pass a flag on the command line to say export. And then when the flag is passed to parse to export, and I'll do this for other stuff too, like for find them or web scan them, it'll know to export by default to whatever medium, JSON, XML, or text. So in the YAML configuration file, I just put text so far. So we have txt. Now, to get this though, I need to set up Viper to know that there is a flag to be passed and what to do with it. So here, with root command, I'm going to add an export flag, persistent flags. Is it just flags? I think. And then we need to say it's a string bar and point it at that string bar. And it's going to be called export. That's the configuration value or key. And then let's say export file. And then basically we're given like documentation in this part. So we'll say I don't know, enter. No, I can't keep losing the focus here. Enter enter the configuration. Enter set export to true or export or false to not export, something like that. False to not export. Or, oh, wait, actually what I want to do is I want to set this to say, to pass in a specific export file. So what I want to say is set this for the, set this by passing in the export file. And you'll see why I'm doing this in just a second. And then I need to bind that to the actual setting, or the actual flag. I should use the right words. I intertwine them so much. So I'm binding it to the actual flag, which is export, and then I need to give it the thing, which is persist flags, root command persist flags again, and look up that particular flag, which is export. Okay. Now if we go back in the configuration file, we'll also see file export. I have it called file export here, so it's not really export, it's file export. Okay. So this needs to be that, and that, and that. That's what I'm actually going for. Okay, so that's set. Now I should be able to say, or write up here, if viper.get file export is true, and export file name is the viper.get string file export, and then we have the export format. So it's file format, and then what do I need? I need to, no, actually, yeah, this does need to be export. Let's keep it as export, because it's going to bind when I pass export, not file export. File export is the name of the file, the export file. Export. Yes, I believe I'm on the right track here. We'll find out in a minute. So export, and parsed counts. Do I want to call it that? So I'm gonna create a function here. I'm gonna pass in all this stuff to actually work. Let's not do it there. I'm complex of making things complex for myself again. So let's call it, what should I call it? I don't know. Anyway, so if export format is equal to text, then do thing, right? And then if it's else if, let's go ahead and add another one. Export format equals JSON. Do this thing. And then we'll need one for XML, CSV, and I don't know, that sounds pretty good. And else, we'll do format.println, export type unsupported. We're going to do text first, so we'll say format.print, let's go with printf, and I'll say starting text export to, And then let's pass in the actual file here. Export file name. That'll give us a nice little message. Nice little fun message. And then we need to let's write a function for each thing. So I'll call this export text. We'll stick to the acronym here. It's text. And then pass in the export file name because we'll need to know that to go to, and we'll want to pass in the content. I don't know what the content. How do we? We'll figure that out in a minute. Okay. So can I refactor? I think I can do extract method. Oh no, I guess I need to just write it out. To hell with it. So, all right, we need to get the. We'll make some collected content, and we'll say. Actually, we need to rebuild the content. Let's rebuild the content. So we'll do collection of content. And crap, I'm working myself into a circle in my head here. So let's do for and loop through this stuff. So we'll call it a Twitter account, and then range of what's my array? Content completed Twitter list. There we go. And then. Yeah, okay, so that'll loop through, and we can put it back together into just a string. I want to put it into a giant string. So var collected content string, that's what I'll call it. And then we'll do collected content equals collected content plus, let's add a separator. And then the Twitter account. Right, so that looks like it'll do it. And the separator, let's just go with this thing for now. So we'll make it a string, but it'll print out in the text file the same way it actually prints out in the console when it prints out an array, which is, or no, it'll do one per new line. So like, if we look down here, in the text file it should be @Adrian, @Thrashing Code, @Lady2 Linux, all on new lines going down. So that's how that should work. Okay, so and then that puts the stuff back together. At that point, then I can do. Excuse me. Now I got the hiccups and the thirsties. All right. So we're going to export the text. Export the text. Oh, we need to get it into a file now. That's what we do. Man, I'm starting to lose my brain here. So to export it to a file, we need to. Okay, first we need to get all the content into a byte stream, because to write it to a file, we're going to need it in a byte stream. What did I just do? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's get this into content bytes. Yes, I know these names aren't so apropos to what they should be, but you know, we're learning here. We're learning. That's the whole point. So, byte array, then I'm going to pass in the collected content. There we go. Why do I have... I did that again. Don't put the thing in the brackets. Lord. There we go. All right, content bytes is now going to be byte array of that giant string. So then I can say, let's hear, IOTIL dot write a file, right? Yep. Okay. Then we can pass in the file name, export file name. Then, oh, we're gonna want the extension. We don't have the extension here. Wait, wait. Okay, there's the bytes. And then the file mode. Oh crap! The numbers of the OS file mode. Let's go look real quick. Golang os.file mode. I'll bet it's this. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go with Z. Although it makes sense sometimes, I prefer to have a proper way of setting file mode correctly. As seen above, the common example, da da da. File mode is just a uint32. Okay. Setting via constants isn't cheating. You use it like any other numeric value. Huh. Well, let's actually do that. Let's set it, just like they did in this great Stack Overflow post by Will H. I'm gonna star it. That's cool. Oh, I'm not signed in. Well, I guess I won't star it then. Oops. Well, I don't want to do 0777 because that's like permissions to execute. I just want to do 06. Was it 644? I don't know. That's what I'm gonna leave it for now. So that's all. So good for the moment. And is that going to build? That is a question. Whoa. What happened? Oh yeah. So now I need to do build. So build and parse. Now let's do export. Can I just set it like that? Or do I need to pass it a value? Yeah, okay, export string. Set this by passing the export file. Default export file. Oh, it's not. It doesn't need to see export file. Let's do. And I promise you, I'm going to show you why I was thinking of doing it the way that it is right now. Being exported. Dot. Oops. There we go. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to pass the exported file. Cool. So, hello. Where is it? Ah, shit. I'll bet. Oh, I bet I know what I need to do. It probably needs to. What is the thing? File. Well, let's add the extension here. So, file format. So file format will be viper.get string. Oh, I got it up there. Export format. Yeah. So I need to do a dot, and then export format. I still don't see anything spitting out. Damn it. Let's see, format dot print line. We'll do export file name. What does that say? Oh, it didn't say nothing. So export format is text. If it equals to text, export format. Well, that's what it is, right? Yeah, file. Oh, did I change it? No, it should be text, file format. Okay, so let's print that out. Let's see what we're breaking here. Export. What? I'll put it over here. We'll make a little mess figuring this out. Text. So it is text. But then it's not getting into here. So if go pull file export equals true. Oh. Well, it's not even. Oh, I just need to set it to true. That's how I set it up. Okay. So go back in here. And this actually needs to be true. Boom, boom, and then boom. Nothing still. Okay. I think we're getting closer though. So let's put that back where it ought to be in here. And then let's say format.println viper.get string. Let's do file export. That's what it is in the file, right? File export, which is tweeters. File export there. What do we got? Tweeters. Yes, it's getting that value. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I don't know why I'm thinking this. Oh, yeah. It needs to be string. But no, get string. Damn it. Get string. There you go. Okay. It's not equal. Damn it. Not equal to. Actually, we'll just do that. Yeah. So let's do. I don't need that crap, and I'm just gonna take that out, and I'm gonna unbind this. We're just gonna go with just if it's set in the config file, then it's gonna export. For now. Whoops. Come back here. We'll fiddle with these things a little bit later. Just get this working for right now. Okay. So next thing then is to. We got that stuff, we got that printed out. All right, I need to get rid of one of these. And now it's gonna be magical. Yeah. Okay, so text, right file. So it should get in there now. Let's see what happens. Well, I uncommented it out though. Where is, oh, did I ask for it somewhere weird? Unknown error, export, oh yeah, it's because it's in my build configuration. So we'll get rid of that for now. We're not gonna pass in a flag, we're just gonna use the configuration values. All right, cool. Now we got progress. Starting text export to tweeters.tweeters. It's not what it should be. It should be export file name, export format. And what did I get over here? Oh. Well, that's what I put. Export file name, export format, and then it's saying tweeters. That's not the damn format. File format, file format. Anyway, there's the file. So it's exporting it right. I don't know why it printed it out this way. Oh, what is in my parse file? Starting text export to tweeters. Oh, and then my next print line is something about that crap. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's the confusing part. You know, it's basically the end of the day for me. So, you know, I halfway don't know what I'm doing. All right, perfect. That is what I wanted. There's our text file. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And what does our content look like? It is correct, including CM griffing. You know, when I get that to work, I'm just going to get it to like send you a bunch of tweets and stuff. So then you have to go look at your Twitter account. Okay, so I'm at 1 hour 58 minutes. We've gotten quite a bit done. We started a project. We got it all kind of working here. Added a helpers file, threw a little error check into the error so we don't have to write 3 lines of code everywhere. So, you know, 3 lines by 20 places it's supposed to be is probably numerous. And then this right here, I know this is supposed to, for example, return an error when you do this, I think. And we can now add error trapping around it, just like so. So otherwise it just writes the file, but if there's an error, now it'll return it and it'll, you know, we can handle it. Whereas before, as you saw, it was just swallowing it. We got no error message because I was writing bad Go. But now I have the error trapped. So if there's an issue with it writing, we'll actually see an error. With this though, let's change these to XML, and then let's add CSV. All right. And in the next session, we'll add those. We'll take a stab at them and get that done. So we'll have several different export types, and I'll actually start refactoring some of this mess too, because it's getting pretty. I mean, look at this. This is one function. We got 33 through 75. That's a lot of code for one function. That could be broken out into some independent functions that do particular things. I guess case in point, we could take this right now, and let's refactor it and extract it to a method, which is a function. So we'll call this the, I don't know, what should we call it? Anybody got 2 cents on that? We'll call it the exporter thingy for now. And then I'm going to need the, let's get stuff passed into it so it doesn't, it's something we're going to need for every one of them, right? Yeah, we're going to need the file, we're going to need the file extension so that we can step through and figure out which one's which and take action pertinent to the particular file we're exporting for. So we'll need the export file name, be a string, and then export format, string, and then what else? What else are we going to pass in here? Oh, we got completed Twitterverse list, right? Twitterverse list. Oh, that's going to be the out, actually. We'll pass that back out. Or will we? No, it's just print it. It doesn't need to pass that back out. Yeah, it just needs to take these 2 values and then do stuff. Range, list. Oh yeah, we'll name it content. Content, and it'll be a string array. Boom, there we go. And I guess actually completed Twitter list, I should call it that. You know, we'll call it Twitter list. That's a little more succinct. All right, so here we'll do. Well, I guess I can just do the viper.get string because this will be where it's getting passed in and set. Will be viper.get string file format. There we go. Now what are you fussing about? Oh yeah, of course I need to pass in the content. Completed Twitter list. Yeah. All right, let's get rid of this file. And then, no wait, is that, no, we needed tweeters is the one we're creating. So let's get rid of that. And then let's run it again. And everything's cool. Yeah, put it right back. Okay, that's what I expected. Let's see here, I don't want Twitz. I should add that. I'm going to add that to the gitignore file. We'll call this project specific files. Be Twitz and then tweeters.text. We'll do tweeters.xml, tweeters.json, and tweeters.csv. I think it's all I got in there. So we don't really need to commit those to GitHub right now. So we'll do that. Just like so. And I'm going to go through and hit Control A and add all this stuff to the commit, and then Control K, and we get our fancy diff here in Goland. So it's adding the Viper import in this file, and 3 format lines. So actually, let's do 2 things here. Let's do actually just all of it off and helpers. Adding a helper for the repeated error handler. We'll just commit that. What are you fussing about? Just commit it. Commit. There we go. And then we'll pop that up again. I don't even know what he did. I don't know how this works. Did it do it? Well, to hell with it. Anyway, we're going to add all of them. And then we're going to adding implemented config. Implemented config function. Adding implemented parse function. Still needs more work. And then adding implemented root and items in the .gitignore file. Oh, I did spell it right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So that's good. And then let's commit and push that. Yeah, push it. Push it up there. All right. Does it have everything up here? Looks good. All right, issues. Let's look in the commits real quick. There we go. Added vendor to ignore. Adding docs. Set theme Jekyll theme minimal. Oh, so that's the commits I did via the online GitHub interface, and then these are the ones that I have done via the Goland IDE, and manually, of course, such as the first commit here. Yep. Okay. All looks good. That's it for this session. Next session, we're going to add continuous integration using Travis CI. We're going to get the Twitter API added, and we're going to get a Cassandra node installed so we can write data against it and read data against it. So those 3 big things are going to happen in our next session, or my next session tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. So if you want to join in and learn what the next steps are and see this CLI through to completion, I will be wrapping it up tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. See you then. Until then, enjoy my fancy pants outro.